So after posting this video online this morning and receiving a couple of messages from someone who suggested that I check the canister purge solenoid, it dawned on me, you know what, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees here. And this truck was running yesterday with no fuel pump, and I'm wondering, how is it getting fuel? Well, the canister purge solenoid is a possibility if it's purging, but wouldn't last that long. I ran it for like 20 minutes at an idle. Mind you, if I gave it gas, it would stall. But then I started thinking about, what about the engine oil? I forgot to check the frickin' engine oil. I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't even think of that until after the fact. So let's have a look at the engine oil. So there is the engine oil. Come on, focus. The full mark is here, right here, and it is at least 2 inches above the full mark. And kind of looks like gasoline. Oh. So we're going to try a little experiment with a match here and see if this thing burns, but I mean, why would it be over full? I was trying to put the dipstick back in the dipstick tube from a distance here. Come on. Get a match handy. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely gasoline in the engine oil. Okay, well, we're going to change out the oil, put the computer back in, and see how it runs. That's the engine oil that came out. I took out at least 8 liters, and it was just like water. Okay, so we're about to start this thing. I'm going to go in and look at live data here and watch it go into closed loop and watch the fuel trims while this thing warms up. And let's look at O2 data. Continue. Okay, let's hope this thing, let's watch RPM while it's cranking. And O2 11 and 12, 11 and 21. 11 21 and fuel system. Okay, let's start it up and see what it does. See how long it takes to go into closed loop. I'll pick up when it does. That was pretty quick. Right? Honestly, less than 30 seconds. It's in closed loop. It's a lot quieter now. Funny how engine oil helps lubricate the timing chain and tensioner and stuff. Oxygen sensor is switching nice. Let's see what our fuel trims are doing. I never reset the fuel trims, so they would have been all skewed, but I see the short-term fuel trims have gone negative, which indicates it's fixing the previously learned well, let's let it run for a while and see how it runs. So it's been running for a couple minutes now, and we can see that both oxygen sensors in the front are switching nice between 0 and 0.9. The 2 rear oxygen sensors are flat-lined about 0.3, which is kind of low, but they're flat-lined. And the fuel trims are long-term 0, short-term 2, and on this side, long-term 0. So it's funny how fuel in the crankcase has such a drastic effect on it. Wow. Well, let's not get carried away. Let's let it run for a while and see how it runs. Well, the timing chain rattle is considerably quieter now with some real engine oil in it. There's the injector pulse width on injector number 1, judging by the spacing there, about 4 milliseconds. Oh well, I'm going to look at the cam patterns. So yesterday when I was running it and it was running rich, I was looking for possible causes, and one of the things was the ambient air temperature sensor is negative 19 Celsius. Well, it turns out this vehicle doesn't have that. That is air conditioning only. I found the connector on the inside of the left front fender. There's no sensor connected to it. This truck is equipped with manual heating system, no air conditioning whatsoever. So it's one of those data parameters that we simply ignore. It's been running now for 10 minutes and it's running fine right now. So here's the lab scope recording of the cylinder number 1 ignition firing event on the coil crank, and the green trace is on cam 2 and the yellow trace is on cam 1. Now if I overlay the 2 cam signals, you can see they're out of sync slightly. So there is definitely some stretch in that chain, some wear in the chain. It's significantly quieter now with fresh oil in it. So it does need some attention to the timing chain, what 5.4 doesn't. But that's not why it wouldn't start. The reason why it wouldn't start, to summarize this all, was the plugs were super fouled for whatever reason. I can't prove it, but there may have been contaminated fuel in it and that caused it to foul the plugs. And once they were fouled, even putting fresh fuel in it didn't help. And of course, several days worth of cranking at various places trying to get this thing running filled the crankcase full of gasoline and contributed to overfueling like crazy again. So that's as far as we're going to go right now. I'm going to see if the customer wants to do anything further with the timing chain, maybe in the future. But that's it for now. Bottom line is, don't overlook the basics. Sometimes it's best to step back and think about what you've done and analyze your results. And I was ready to throw a computer at it for the lack of better things to do. And I hate like hell just throwing parts at things. But sometimes you got to do that if you can eliminate something. It didn't make sense that it was running yesterday without any fuel pump, but it does make 100% sense now. It was running off the fumes on the crankcase. I just never seen one that bad. Thanks for watching.